Okay. I am getting pulled off in a meeting here in about 20 minutes, so I'm more than happy to talk to you.
All right, that's okay. This is just going to be a quick one here anyway, brother.
Yeah, please.
I'm calling because are you aware that they're flying in, and when I say they, I mean the government, and I'm talking about Brad Winstrip, the mailman, the government, you, anybody who receives a dime from the government. So when I say, are you aware, I don't really mean that. I mean, if they're not aware, they better be aware. And if they're not, there's no way, ignorance of the law is no excuse. So, but I don't know, this goes beyond the law. This is treasonous, where now they're skipping right by any border that used to be there or anything else. Now they're actually screening these invaders and stuff before they even leave their place of origin, and they're flying them directly in here, which we was already aware that. And when I say we, I mean us, the people, the forgotten abouts, the ones that y'all don't really care about and that you guys are overlooking. And we're beyond sick of it, because we know that there's going to be something that's not going to be right come this November. We was right about it last time, and it got shoved down our throats and stuff because we was completely ill prepared, and we didn't know what to do about it. But I'm telling you, we're doing something about it now. We're aware that the government is for the government, or anybody who has more money than we, the people. And when I find out, and when I have other people calling me and writing me and telling me, did you know that they're processing these illegals, these invaders, but let's think about this. How can they get over here, most of them, because they can't afford to do that? They're promised stuff, so they're bought and they're paid for. Well, you're not supposed to buy and pay for votes. But we know exactly that that's what is in fact taking place. And that is illegal. But you know what? That doesn't really matter to the government here, does it? Because they don't want to prosecute the ones that should be prosecuted at all. They don't want to do nothing to them. And they want to go after the innocent ones. And they want to do stuff that's completely irrelevant. I mean, you've still got cops and stuff out here that's pulling people over for speeding. Are you joking right now? They are taking people to court and stuff because they didn't pay their taxes. Are you joking right now? I mean, this whole complete government is insane. They're insane. They're demonic. I mean, there is no word to explain how absolutely despicable that we, the people, find our government. This government. This is not our government. Well, it's ours. By default, it's ours. But you know where we're at right now? We have created a system that will and is going to change. This is in the Constitution. All of these stupid laws and stuff that y'all's making up are irrelevant, when our Constitution tells us that they're irrelevant. And the things that y'all are doing is completely illegal. You know what that means? If it's illegal, that means that you can't do that. You shouldn't be doing that. Okay, and the illegal thing that's happening is when y'all are imposing laws and writing up your own laws and stuff like that. And I don't care if it's a Republican that says, no, I'm against that, or anything else. You're responsible. Everybody in the government is responsible for all this debauchery that is taking place. When I can't have a conversation with anybody without the corruption coming up, and I've tried it over the last few weeks or whatever, man, I had to just bail out. I had to get some things caught up on and stuff, because this is a never-ending landfill, garbage dump. I mean, it's just trash after trash after trash. And then are you aware? You better be. 80% of all of these illegals that goes to these sanctuary cities and stuff throughout the United States. What state do you think gets 80% of that? Let me just tell you, Jake. Florida. Florida is receiving 80% of all of them that's been brought in here. They're not walking in on their own. They've got help. George Soros, Bill Gates, and the rest of the crew, or what? I mean, take Larry. What's his name? Larry Fink from BlackRock. He's all about this DIE, or what? Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, DEI. This is all garbage. They are trashing us, brother. I'm telling you. Jake, you're the government, but you're also an American right there that's going to be suffering the consequences of this stuff. Look, here's the thing. I was all about Israel, and everybody that I talked to was all about, we don't want anybody to be killed and hurt and stuff like that. Absolutely not. They talk about Hamas, this, and everything else. But you know what? We've got our own problem right here. And you know what? You can't run and save somebody if your own legs are broken or if they're chopped off. I mean, so what is $95 billion and everybody just acts like whatever? We got Mike Johnson in there, who is a complete and utter put-in turncoat. I mean, we're sick of it. We really are. And you know what? How is this Brad Wenstrup, how is he even thinking that he's a representative? Because what is he doing that's really... Now, again, let's go over it. He's finding out about COVID or whatever it is, Good for him. Glad. But, man, we've got some bigger issues to be frying up right now. Way bigger issues. You got... pedophiles out there, the lover of children. And then you got the other ones that want to unalive these tiny ones and stuff like that. They're trying to overturn stuff down in Arizona, even once the Supreme Court has ruled on stuff. But then if you talk about the Supreme Court, they make a ruling on the border or some garbage like that. And they're against Texas actually standing up and doing what they should not even have to be doing. That's not even Greg Abbott's place or Texas. I'm not just saying Greg Abbott. I'm talking about the great Americans that's in Texas, our fellow Americans. When I say Americans, I'm not talking about liberal-crats. I'm not talking about if you're a liberal or if you're a Democrat or if you are one of those that says, my body, my choice, or a limp wrist or anything like that. That is not America. We're not weak and we're not wimpy. We're strong and we know what a man is. We know what a woman is. We know where a man belongs and we know where God belongs, first and foremost. And did you see all these universities that's losing their minds or whatever? They're being, look, all George Soros, Bill Gates, and Larry Finkeldankel there has to do is they will buy a few people in each university and they'll say, hey, go influence your friends to start doing this. And that's what happens. And the rest of the sheeplies, they just go right ahead and do it. And why would they not do it? I mean, the craziest stuff you can think of. Why would they not do it? Let me tell you why they have no problems doing it. Because the teachers, before this even takes place, let's set up a scenario. Before, let's say tomorrow that Bill Finkeldankel and the rest of the Twinkledankle gang there decides they're going to fund a university and start some garbage. Okay, when so-and-so's going, the student's going in, okay, and he has to learn about, his skin is too white and that let's have a drag party and all this stuff, from some mental moronic demon that, obviously, has no clue about what being a human's about, let alone a woman. And I'm going to tell you something. That whole sickness like that, if you're a woman, I would be absolutely appalled. Talk to them, watch their action and stuff. But I can remember when it all started, like back in the late 70s, you'd see a little tiny bit of it, but then in the 80s, you'd start seeing it every once in a while or whatever. And then it got to where the women actually thought that it was cool to have some winky tinky, to hang out with. Oh, they don't want nothing from you. You can just talk. No. They want something from you. They want everything from you. They want to take it away from you. They're demonic. They're mind twisted. They have issues. Now, whether it's chemically done or not, I have no idea. But we've got all kinds of problems. So Brad has no time to be standing on one thing. And I would like an answer back when and where he's going to start addressing the questions that come in. Like, I've got another life to deal with and stuff like that. And a lot of us out here, we have things that we would rather be doing and stuff, but our focus is really right now what's going to happen this November on this election. They're already setting this up. And why is it that they're flying in all these people and stuff like that? Why are they doing that? They don't care where they are, who they are, or anything else. They're bringing them in by the plane load fulls. And wherever they want to go to here in the United States, that's where they go to. They're getting paid to do it. And if I offered you right now a dollar bill to vote a certain way, is that a criminal offense? Yes, it is. You can't buy a vote. But what is this? This is buying votes. If you tell somebody, and they know it's going on too, because they've already asked them, you've seen it, I know it's happening. If they say who's your favorite president, if they say Trump, oh no, Trump, no. Okay, but then whenever they say Biden, oh yeah, Biden, oh yeah, Biden, yeah, Biden. They don't know no English. A lot of them don't even speak a word of English. But you say Biden, oh yeah, thumb come up waving in the air. And they have no background to this country to know what it is they're fighting for or anything else. And I'm going to tell you, that's probably a lot of Americans that's in America that's not Americans, because if you don't have a backbone to stand up for this country, did you happen to see the one university in North Carolina, I believe it was, where the students there saved the American flag and then sung the national anthem?
Say it one more time, sir. I apologize. I heard national anthem.
Yeah, did you see the college students that actually saved the? Yes,
I saw a picture of the fraternity brothers holding up the flag. I thought that was quite awesome.
Yeah, and then they sung the national anthem, and they protected that from was it pro-Hamas, I think it was, or something like that. So
yeah, one of the many pro-Hamas protests.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, what a great thing that was, right? But that's one place, and don't get me wrong, I think it's amazing. And that's what we needed. We need more like that university has going on. But then if you jump over to another university who said, oh, wait, we're going to give everybody a free tuition if you're whatever it was and all that, just to end their protest or whatever, giving them all free tuitions and promising them jobs and everything else. You can look more into that yourself or whatever, because there's just so much going on that my head's spinning. But I got to tell you something, more than my head's spinning, I am absolutely beyond pissed off, man. We are all talking, and everybody that I know says the same thing. They're trying something now with having Trump being all pinned down in the courts and stuff like that. But see, Trump and we the people, more importantly, are way smarter than what these here dummycrats are, liberalcrats. Because he's just using it to go to New York. He's just standing in New York there and talking to the people and everything. All the people that actually work, the Americans that's here, we know what they're doing. But yet we just found out that I knew that they was flying people like from Mexico down into the United States, like across that way. But now I'm finding out they're coming from all the other countries, and that is the Biden-Obama regime that set all that up. And it's all sneaky, see? And, you know, it blows my mind because the people that's like checked out of this right now, it's like, how can you check out? I mean, is it that you just don't know what to do? Let me tell you, if you're on here and if you don't know already, please, 202-224-3121. And call and talk to my buddy, the human answer machine here, Mr. Jake. Wonderful guy. True American.
Do it.
True American. What's that?
Always happy to do it, sir.
Yeah, great guy. I really believe he gets it. Honestly, Jake is one. Charles, another one. I firmly believe in both of them. I think in behind the scenes there, if they was allowed to talk freely, which is another thing that I'm going to say, is this freedom of speech stifling thing. Like, I know that they have Facebook and all of them, and they've got these special councils set up and everything where they're kind of grilling on them and stuff. But, you know, this whole debacle with Facebook and Twitter and all of them, we've got to end these, and this is a vital thing, and I want you to take this also and make sure this gets on Brad's desk big time. But these monopolies have got to go. We've got to look. There's
the social media monopolies.
I'm talking about that, and I'm also talking about the medicine right now. There's a big shortage across the United States or whatever because our binders for medication comes from two places. Guess where? China and India. And if we're into it with China and they don't want to send or whatever, then that leaves India, right? So there's a monopoly here. And what incentive are we giving anybody? And they're doing this on purpose, and we know this. But let me tell you something. The United States has so many votes that's going to happen, and they know this too. In November, there's going to be so many votes, like even with the people turning 18, so on and so forth, before election time. They already calculate. They already know how many votes and stuff are there. But look what they did last time. They literally shut it down and put stuff on the windows so they could do what they wanted to do, and they thought they wouldn't get caught or anything. But then they drug out all of the suitcases and stuff from underneath the tables and stuff. So nothing to see here, right? Well, guess what? We did see it. And if it doesn't look right and it don't smell right, then it ain't right, period. It's shit like a Jason or a Dennis, in the plains. You know what I mean? That's just enough and kind enough to tell me that you wanted to go home, so I'm going to let you go home. I appreciate you. On behalf of all my subscribers out here and stuff, we all want to tell you again how much we appreciate you, and have a great evening, brother.
And before you go, make sure you put me down as the second call to back. Okay.
All right, hey Jake, we appreciate it, brother. You hear me? Tell Charles all of them we said hey, will you?
Yep.
Thanks.
Have a good one, sir.
Thanks again. All right, bye. All right, well, this was kind of a spur of the moment. I just couldn't take it anymore. I've been really, putting these off of doing these and everything because it's so irritating, and there's so much stuff coming in. There's so much stuff happening now, and I just decided to just let it just punch the punching bag for a little while, and because there's so much. I mean, it's just overwhelming, So, but we got to stay in there. We got to keep fighting and do what we got to do, because liberal crats definitely can't win. You know, you wind up with garbage like that's up in the Plains, Ohio, or Athens, Ohio. You know, they're robed gods up there that think that they're above the law and everything, where there's no true judicial system at all. The whole story or whatever, I might be putting that on before too long, so stay tuned for that. But you know, they all bow down to their robed master and stuff like that in Athens, and it's all a put on fake bunch of garbage. They ain't none of them, but they're all liberals, and if you know how disgusting liberals are and Democrats, then you'll know exactly how disgusting I'm saying that. So anyway, all right. Well, we're going to jump off of here, but I was trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, yeah, you know what? Give me just a minute. We'll be right back. All right, here you go. Listen to this here. This here is kind of mind-blowing here. Listen to this.
Thousands of migrants have been flown into over 45 U.S. cities through JB's Cuban, Haitians, Nicaraguans, and Venezuelans mass parole program. On January 5th of last year, 2023, the Biden regime unveiled a plan to provide safe and orderly pathways to the U.S. for up to 30,000 individuals monthly from Cuba, Haiti.
Monthly. 30,000 monthly. I started to say it. There's so many votes, and they already know how many is going to be there. So all they have to do now is they set their algorithms and whatever else garbage things like they did last on 2020. But there's going to be even more shenanigans. I mean, some really bad stuff. And I'm telling you, I agree so much with Tucker Carlson and Bongino when I say that they're going to plan on doing something to Trump before then. I'm telling you. Well, they're already doing it, like everything that they can, but, you know, they're going to want to create a martyr, and that's what they'll do. So, anyway.
Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela.
I'll repeat that.
On January 5th of last year, 2023, the Biden regime unveiled a plan to provide safe and orderly pathways to the U.S. for up to 30,000 individuals monthly from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela. Known as the CHNV program, short for Cubans, Haitians, Nicaraguans, and Venezuelans, it grants eligible people from these nations who have U.S. sponsor and pass a background check the opportunity to live and work in the U.S. legally for 2 years under humanitarian parole. The Center for Immigration Studies, a think tank known for advocating tighter immigration controls, reports that these obscure flights have facilitated the entry of approximately 320,000 migrants into at least 43 different airports in the U.S. And you know what they're doing now? They're processing them in other countries and flying them in directly to Chicago, directly to Salt Lake City, directly to New York, wherever they want to go. So they don't even...
There you go. Directly wherever they want to go. So instead of them getting over here and then finding a border patrol, you know, or whatever, and then getting all this done, well, they just do it over there now, and no harassment or whatever, and then just fly in wherever. All the paperwork's already done for them. See? But all that paperwork is illegal. And I'll tell you what's going to happen. When it's proven that Biden, the whole thing here, has to be erased, you know, just like with old Armstrong, whenever he won all those Tour de France or whatever, and then they found out he was doing it, you know, running on his jacked up injections there and stuff, you know. And then they took all of his awards and stuff. Then you know, that's what's going to happen. History is going to do it. But you know, the real sad thing, one of the other sad thing, I mean, the people first and foremost. How many people are unalive? How many people are unalive now because of this? If you go back and you think about if this would not have happened, and don't get me wrong, again, I've said it before, I'll say it and say it and say it, but I stand with Mike Lindell when he said this had to happen for people to wake up, or we would have been so far gone. You know, and I got to tell you something, that if I'm honest about it, that is a worry now. Are we too far down, you know, to get back up? Regardless if we are, if we ain't, I'm telling you right now, I'm not going to stop fighting. But I got to tell you, man, it's a struggle, especially when you have to deal with demonic pedophiles and stuff that's out there. You know who you are. It gets to be a lot, and the reason why is because this kind of demonic stuff like that, the Petos and the Bidens and all of them, they will not stand toe to toe with you. They won't be in front of you and run their mouth or anything. They won't. They're roaches. Well, less than. Actually, I like roaches over those. But anyway, yeah. So anyway, I got something else to show you. I'll be right back. And on top of things, you know, you find out that people are no longer with us because there's a drug shortage, you know, as I was speaking about earlier, you know, with China and India and stuff controlling and having a monopoly on, you know, things that affect us, you know, greatly. They know this. Not only the food, I mean, that they are poisoning purposely, or like now there's a drug shortage. Man just is no longer with us because he was unable to get the medication. But take a quick listen to this.
Essential medications. U.S. drug shortages have reached a peak with 323 different medications in short supply.
So 323 medicines are in short supply, you know. And let me see if I can find this here. Yeah, here's a map. Check this out. Look at this.
Biden is probably definitely not part.
Let me rewind just a little bit.
You know, but no, Biden's just like, yeah, I don't care. Just do whatever I want.
Biden don't care, that's for sure.
So yeah, Biden is probably definitely not picked.
Okay, first of all, Biden doesn't even know. I mean, have you guys happened to catch the OMG O'Keefe Media Group? James O'Keefe actually had one of his undercover journalists who caught a major CIA operative or whatever, you know, saying and telling that they kept things from Trump and that they all thought that they all think that he's an idiot still. That all of the, I mean, he says it, so you can go watch it, OMG, but he's telling this girl that he's on a date with, you know, and shows her his badge, his undercover badge that he's not supposed to show to anybody, or, you know, hands it right over to her. But then he starts telling other information that he shouldn't even be talking about anyway. But thank goodness that he did, because he's just revealing what we all know. But not only did they keep stuff from Trump, but they also lied and told him things that weren't true and stuff also. So how in the world? I'm going to tell you something. This is why we need to pray for our presidents and all of them. You know, there's still a few in there that I actually have a little bit of trust for and with, but I'm going to tell you something. It's all of them, every single one of them. Jim Jordan, you know, Chip Roy, Matt Gaetz. I mean, of course, Ted Cruz, Marjorie Taylor Greene. I'll tell you something. I used to be a really big, huge supporter of her and stuff, but then after this 95,000 or billion, 95,000, $95 billion deal that just went through again and stuff like that, she's on kind of shaky ground now. I think that she may be getting a little bit too close to the fire there. She should step back a little bit and take a look and regain herself and then go back at it, because I think she's a really good person, but I think that so much stuff is going on. She's like everybody else. She's kind of getting, disorientated, but now is not the time. Now is the time to put on your flight suit and get pressurized or whatever you need to do to get the blood circulating to where it needs to be. And I'm talking to myself too, because these whack job sickos, think about it. It's really, really easy to do the easy thing. You can be brain dumb, and which is a known fact. Dennis, Jason, they have those out there. And I'm talking about two individuals, so it's not all of them, because I have a really good friends of mine that's Jason's. I have really good Dennis's that's really good people, but two in particulars, they ain't worth nothing. So anyway, but these two individuals are proof that you don't even need a brain to survive. It's just easy to do the evil thing, but we got to eradicate and do away with all of the hatred towards America and the American flag, and we've got to get squared away with what we're teaching our children and stuff, because if not, then you wind up with the liberal-crats, like I was just speaking of. So, but we have a shortage on medication now, and that should not ever be in America. The land of milk and honey, is all about whatever they can grab and more money. That's all that they're seeing this as. And they're no longer thinking about human beings as being human beings. It's just, and who comes up with this, deciding that there's not enough people, or there's too many, or not enough, or too many, or not enough, because you have Elon Musk that says, we need more people. And then you have, of course, Gates and them, anybody, that's demonic like that, they're all about destroying things, right? So they want to get rid of. So, which, don't get me wrong, I'm no fan of Elon Musk. It's like Ron DeSantis, it's like Ron DeSantis. At first you think, oh yeah, cool guy, good guy. And why has he got 80% of these invaders? How's that happen? Nope, I don't trust him. Don't trust him. He doesn't have enough time now. I don't trust him. So anyway, but the medicine shortage now, on top of all the other stuff that just keeps coming, and then they keep wanting you to look over here. But listen, don't buy into that neither. When they say look over here, and then they got something over here that they don't want you to see. Well, we better be looking over here and over here at the same time. And as far as that goes, you better be looking here, 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 and here, and here, and everywhere at the same time. Because there's just too much stuff, But I thought that was really cool out of I think it's North Carolina University. I think that's where it was at. Let me see if I can find it. I'll be right back. All right, here we go. Now, check this out. Listen to this.
Confirmed approximately 30 anti-Israel demonstrators were detained for refusing to leave the encampment. UNC Students for Justice in Palestine organized a walkout in protest of the students who were taken into custody. During the walkout, protesters tore down barricades and took down the American flag situated in the quad, and the Palestinian flag was raised in its place. How did they get access to that? Usually it's locked up. That's weird. The American flag was flying at half-mast to honor the police officers taken out in Charlotte earlier this week. Yeah, they're trying to do serve a warrant and they got popped off. 4 of them are gone. Yeah, from a basic warrant. Yeah, you thought your job was hard. Chancellor Roberts personally returned with police to replace the American flag while protesters threw bottles, rocks, and water at them and yelled obscenities. See, now if you guys would have just gone looting and burning stores instead like BLM did, you might get away with it. I don't think you would, to be honest with you. But they did in 2020, right?
Yep.
When the protesters attempted to remove
Yeah, so sort of what he's alluding to there in saying is, but I'll just put my own words in here. You know, they talk about J6 and all this stuff, you know, that took place, so on and so forth. But if you go back and you look at what BLM and all of them did, I mean, they literally was interviewing people while the buildings and stuff was on fire behind them, saying nothing, no, we're not doing anything. There's no problem here, you know. And it was ABC, NBC, CBS, CNBC, you know, all of the mainstream news, fake news outlets or whatever that was saying that or whatever. And literally there's people, the real news and stuff like this guy here and stuff, standing off to the side filming them while the buildings are on fire and people are breaking into houses right behind them. And they're saying, no, this is peaceful, you know. Anyway. So listen to the rest of this. Listen.
Flag again, the Greek community stepped up to protect it while they sang the national anthem. They made sure the flag never touched the ground despite the barrage
and that bears repeating again too.
Protect it while they sang the national anthem.
Let me go back a little bit.
When the protesters attempted to remove the flag again, the Greek community stepped up to protect it while they sang the national anthem.
Greek community.
They made sure the flag never touched the ground despite the barrage of objects thrown at them and the violent rhetoric shouted at them by the unhinged activists. What a bunch of awesome kids, huh? They made sure they
young men is what I'd say. I wouldn't call them kids. I'd call them American young men, patriots.
And balls of water to their faces, making sure the flag doesn't touch the ground. That's great. According to one student, they stood protecting the flag for more than an hour. Wow. In North Carolina, who would have expected that to be such a red state? You guys know that? North Carolina has a veto overriding Republican majority. Yeah. They can pass nearly whatever they want. They screw the governor. Doesn't even matter who the governor is. Give me a second. Let's get buffering. No, I'm buffering. Oh, there you go. That's fine. Anyways. Guillermo says today was a sad yet empowering day at Chapel Hill. When I walked to class, I saw the Pali flag raised to our on our quad flagpole, and was immediately upset at the act that these protesters had made. I cannot say I am fully educated on the conflict. So, this is a video right here of these awesome boys. A bunch of awesome kids.
No, young men. He keeps calling them boys. This is them singing the national anthem.
You see, Arabs, if you see this flag, okay.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you something right now. Now, he goes in, this guy here, he goes in to kind of beating up, and he says some pretty horrific thing about Israel and stuff there, which I'm not going to touch right now. But I can tell you this, the whole thing is sad. The whole thing is sad. I don't like to see any of us feuding with anybody, you know. I've always stepped up and helped everybody, and there's the ones that turn and then they put a knife in your back, you know. But here's one thing that I definitely know. As bad as it hurts, I'd rather be the one receiving that knife as the one doing it, because I'll guarantee you the stronger person is the one receiving that knife. You know, the other ones, it just shows what thieves that they are. What do you think, No?
Mm-hmm. I agree with you.
Yeah. So that goes to, you know, Jason and Dennis also, the Plains, Ohio. You know, turd buckets that they are. So anyway, listen, we so appreciate you guys out there. Really, really do. I think I got one more thing I want to show you. I'll be right back. All right, I'm going to show you this here, and Tell me what you think about this.
DHS data exposes over 45 U.S. cities as destinations for hundreds of thousands of migrants through JB's parole program. Oh, and by the way, 80% of them flown to Florida. Oh.
Florida. Ron
They're
DeSanctimonious.
getting ready to cheat in November, guys. And I hate to tell
agree
you
with
this,
him.
but you guys remember in 2022, was it 2022? In 2022, when DeSantis won re-election, he won by a lot. Okay.
Now, see, I wasn't really aware of this until just recently, you know, but it is awfully funny, or you know, needs not funny at all. There's nothing funny about any of this, so I don't know why I said it like that. You know, the counties where, well, I'll just let him.
And there was a particular county that he won where two people actually got busted cheating, and he won. So, unless they sucked that bad at cheating and got caught, you know, my guess is DeSantis has Florida on lockdown. He knows how to win that state. Okay? And I gotta tell you, I still don't trust him.
I don't trust him neither.
Finding out that he's backing Blake Masters over.
Okay, Blake Masters, I don't know too much about the little bit that I do know about him. If you just go off of like what I know, which is just like the one ad that he put out, you know, he's way better than this other guy. Let's see his name.
Abe Hamadeh, you know, Nikki Haley.
Abe Hamadeh. I don't care for that dude.
It's also backing Blake Masters over Abe Hamadeh. Meanwhile, Kari Lake and Trump back Abe Hamadeh.
Yeah, Trump is backing Abe Hamadeh or whatever, but I think that's strategy. It's like picking the lesser of the turds is all that is, because Abe Holiday, anyway, that's a Florida thing. But we better pay attention to all of it, you know?
Blake Masters. Finding that out.
Anyway, with all that, listen, I appreciate all the subscribers out there. I appreciate y'all hanging with me. Thank you so much, all of yous out there praying for me and my wonderful small family and stuff, you know. I consider y'all family if you're on here. I truly mean that. I really appreciate each and every one of yous. Tom, Gwen, give you a shout out there. Really appreciate you guys. I hope you're doing good, Tom. I know that you drive over the road and stuff like that in the big truck or whatever, so appreciate you tuning in and watching. I see you when you go by and, you know, you blow the horn and stuff. Stop in sometime, say, hey, I've got some pretty cool stuff for the future that I'm working on. So definitely hang around, stay tuned. If I don't post or you don't see something for a little bit or something like that, no worries. Just know that got a lot going on right now. The boss is, you know, recovering really slow, but is recovering, you know. For those of you who don't know, my son, the boss, 13 years old, he has cerebral palsy, and he just had major double hip surgery, you know, both hips at the same time, just about, I think it was about 8 months ago now. But he's recovering. Went through a lot of pain, a lot of struggles and different things like that. I mean, I can't even begin to tell you. There is a guy up to where they done this at. The actual guy that done the actual procedure. What a dirtbag. I can't even tell you how, I mean, extreme dirtbag. I'm not even going to say where it is, you know. Well, actually, now I probably better not do that, but just trust me that this guy was, you know, he said one thing that he would take care of, you know, his pain and stuff after the boss's surgery, and he didn't. So, anyway, the guy, you know, sort of like Kris Kringle, you know, the guy's name kind of sounds like Klingle. I just call him Dangle because he's a real dirtbag. But anyway, but we've got him recovering now, thanks to the Lord. Thank you, Lord. There's some people that needed prayers and stuff out there. We are praying for you for sure, and we certainly appreciate all the prayers. So keep them coming, and thank you so much for hanging in there with us. Like I said, we got some pretty interesting things coming up in the future that I'm working on. It's kind of like anything else, ready, slow, go, you know, but we're getting there. Thank you, Lord. Hey, God bless America. God bless you and yours. We're praying for you. Thanks again so much for praying for us. Love you, Lord. We love you, boss. Call your representatives. 202-224-3121. Tell them James told you, or that you're calling in and that you're staying with James, and that we'll all just keep working together and stuff. So anyway, God bless you. Peace out.